This is a chain tensioner, and this is a chain tensioner, and this is a chain tensioner. There are two types of chain tensioners used on Brompton folding bicycles. This is the chain tensioner used on the 1 and 3 speed Brompton bicycles. It was also used on the 5 speed bicycles. This is a chain tensioner on a 3 speed Brompton. This chain tensioner can easily be identified by the jockey wheels or the guard disc, which is usually silver or sometimes black. This is a chain tensioner used on the 2 and 6 speed Bromptons that have a derailleur. The jockey wheels on the derailleur version move side to side to allow the chain to move between the sprockets when you change gear. Inside is a big spring that keeps your chain under tension. If you take it off your bicycle without removing the tension first, it will fly off. The chain tensioner is aptly named. It keeps the chain under pressure or under tension. Over time, the jockey wheels wear out, but they can be replaced. If you keep your chain cleaned regularly, they will last longer. In preparation for setting up the hub gears, when we've replaced the chain tensioner, we're going to put it into the highest gear, so the cable is at its slackest. Then we're going to undo the knurled nut lock, and then we're going to remove the gear indicator chain. Next, we're going to remove the tension on the chain by folding the bicycle. This allows us to easily remove the chain from one of the sprockets. Now we're going to put the bicycle back to the unfolded position. Now we're going to remove the gear chain indicator nut using a 15mm spanner. Now you just simply remove the chain tensioner by pulling it. The back of the chain tensioner is keyed, so it fits around the axle plate. We find it easiest to get the sprocket with the chain on top of it and then position the chain tensioner over the axle plate. Then you can put the chain tensioner bolt back on the axle . It's important to make sure that the washer is seated in the nut. Then it's simply tightened with a 15mm spanner to 5 Newton meters. Now we're going to remove the tension from the chain again by folding the bicycle. And when it's folded, it's easy to swing the rest of the chain tension around to re-engage the chain. Now we're going to put the bicycle into the unfolded position. Then we're going to check that the chain runs smoothly. And now we're going to set up the hub gears. We have made a separate video on setting up the hub gears. To remove the chain tensioner, you should first be in the highest gear, which is the smallest sprocket. First of all, we're going to remove the tension on the chain slightly by folding it. Now the tension has been removed on the chain, we're going to remove the chain from one of the sprockets, from the chain tensioner. Then we're going to put him back upright. Now we're going to undo the chain tensioner nut. And take the washer off. Then we're going to take the chain tensioner off of the axle plate. To reinstall it, you need to ensure the chain is fed into the sprocket and under the chain pusher, and then the chain tensioner pushes onto the axle plate. Then, having put the washer on the gear indicator nut, simply put it back onto the bicycle and screw it onto the axle. The gear indicator nut should be done up using a 15mm spanner to 5 Newton meters. Then you release the tension on the chain like this, and then simply swing the rest of the chain tensioner around the chain and put it through the sprockets. And then you can put the tension back on the chain like this. And now you want to check that your derailleur is working correctly. You can do this before setting up the hub gears if you've got a 6-speed. So, we need to remove the rear wheel because we've got a puncture at the side of the road. So what's the easiest way to remove the chain tensioner when you don't have a stand? Step 1. Fold the bicycle. It makes its own stand, cleverly designed. Then we're going to undo the gear indicator chain. Now we're going to remove the chain from the top sprocket on the chain tensioner. We're then going to undo the gear indicator nut. Now we can simply slip off the chain tensioner. To put the chain tensioner back on the bicycle, it is easiest to have it unfolded. As we have a useful wall, we're leaning our handlebars against it. As when it was in the stand, we're going to put the sprocket onto the As when it was in the stand, we're going to put the chain onto the sprocket, and then put the chain tensioner onto the axle plate. Then we're going to put the washer back on the chain tensioner nut and screw it onto the axle. Then we're going to refold the bicycle. Making sure that the chain is round both sprockets. Then we're going to unfold it to adjust the hub gears. But even if you can't adjust your hub gears confidently, you can ride home in 3rd gear. It's not so easy to see on the floor. Now we should be ready to ride home. If you like this video, please give us the thumbs up. If you want to see more of our videos, please subscribe. Did we miss anything? Please comment in the comment section below. Ready? Let's see how this goes. This might be too much information. So, how do I know which chain tensioner I need? If I've got a standard 3-speed bicycle with a derailleur, I need the one. I'm a bit ad-libbing now. So, the correct chain tensioner for the derailleur Brompton bicycles is the one which the jockey wheels move. If you think we've